102.9 W4 Country and the latest from Florida Georgia line, sipping on fire. It's 8:39 and the Breakfast with Bubba show in the morning. Beautiful day ahead today.
Sunny and 62.
Special guests in here, Dr. Melvin McInnis and Dr. Sagar Parikh. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hi there.
We're talking about a depression study, and actually numerous studies happening at the University of Michigan. Dr. Parikh, let's start with you. Depression, unfortunately, been in the news a lot lately because, you know, it varies from... How do you even diagnose and how do you scale depression? Because I'll be honest, I'm from Southern California. When winter rolls around,
everybody's depressed.
But I feel like I get a little worse. I mean, so much so that a doctor even a few years ago tried Zoloft with me, and just
kidding.
like that. Yeah, that lasted just a little bit. But you know, then you hear things like, you know, this German wings crash where the guy's so depressed that, I mean, he not only takes himself out but commits mass murder. How big of a portion of the population does a depression affect?
Well, last year, 17 million Americans had an episode of depression, and probably close to 4 million had an episode of bipolar disorder. So it's a lot of people.
Now, how do they estimate that number? Because I would imagine, you know, when you go back to like my dad's generation,
I don't think it was recognized.
I don't think my dad would ever say, "Hey, I'm depressed."
I'm depressed, right?
But you could tell by the way he acted a little bit. I mean, is that just people that sought treatment?
Well, no, probably only half of people actually seek treatment. The way you figure it out is you do a survey where you've actually asked all the right questions, and you can rule out things like, you know, you lost your job recently, or you had a death in the family, or some other thing, which would, of course, make you quite unhappy. You can separate those things out from clinical depression.
Is there an easy way where somebody listening to this show right now could tell, like where do you draw the line between the situation caused it or I'm depressed?
Right. Well, a simple way of thinking about it is, how sick do you feel when you have a cold, and how sick do you feel when you've got the flu? When the flu hits, it's multiple symptoms. You may have to stay home. You may have to be lying in bed. It may last for weeks. With a clinical depression, you know, that's the same kind of thing. Multiple symptoms, higher severity, and it lasts for weeks. It's not a thing of a few days. We've all had bad experiences where we're bummed out for a couple of days or something. That's not clinical depression.
Okay.
Clinical depression lasts.
Today's tax day. I tell you what, I'm about as close
You're
to
not
one day
depressed.
clinical depression
You're
today
just
as I
crazy.
can get. Is that what it is? I'm really feeling it today, Regato. Dr. McInnis, we got several studies at the U of M that listeners can get involved in. Good morning. Tell us a little bit about some of them.
So we're interested in identifying features of the individual that predict when they're headed for an episode. These are called biological markers. And the best analogy that I can give you is from my upbringing on a farm. I was raised in the Midwest. And the first thing my father told me is that we have to figure out, or understand when the sound of a sick animal, a well animal, a well-running machine, and when something's going bust. Because when a bearing was going on a machine, on a combine, for example, if you didn't fix that bearing straight away, you would be headed for a lot of expenses, in the whole axle of something going. So what we really, really need to do is figure out when we can intervene, when somebody can get help. And so we're doing a lot of research now to figure out if there are markers that are in the blood, markers that are in the way that one speaks. And so we're working with mobile health technologies to look at the acoustics of the speech to see if there are shifts in the change in the sound of someone.
Are you hearing anything right now when I'm talking?
Hearing you. You're sounding good. Your bearings are, seem to be well lubricated.
See, thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
He's a doctor. He says my bearings are well lubricated. He's a lot more professional than you are, Regato. And
He doesn't work with you every day.
So who? I know you're looking for folks to participate in this study.
Yes.
Who exactly should be calling you that's listening right now?
Well, the individual who has depression, as Dr. Parikh mentioned, depression is an enduring illness. It lasts for a long time. So someone who's got depressive, in the midst of a depression, having trouble thinking, having trouble getting up in the morning, or alternatively is having trouble sleeping, having trouble in general with their life. And so that is the individual that could give us a call. Anyone with bipolar disorder, with periods, as Dr. Parikh mentioned, of mania and depression, we're interested in talking to. And if you're interested at all in learning more about depression, we have a website, depressioncenter.org. I'm sure that you can put this up on the website.
You betcha. We'll get this on our Facebook straight away.
And just check us out. Give us a call. We'll be happy to talk to you and happy to give you more information. We've got all kinds of things online. There's information out there that people can be getting to learn more about what it is. And it's like, on the farm. When you start thinking that there's something wrong, when you hear that funny sound of the bearing on a combine, it's probably something going wrong.
And just keep this in mind, too. This is nothing about which to be embarrassed.
No.
At all.
No.
So many people suffer from it. You're listening to one that I suffer from seasonal depression. I really do. It's part of it. And don't be embarrassed to visit that website.
There's help out there.
Depressioncenter.org. In fact, you might be able to help some other folks with these studies.
Absolutely.
What is the phone number to call?
The phone number's on our website.
Okay, we'll get them there.
The 1-800-UM-GENES is the number. 1-866-UM-GENES is
Excellent.
our number.
We'll get that on our Facebook as well, so you could just click over there, facebook.com/W4Country. Dr. Melvin McInnis, Dr. Sagar Parikh, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, very important problem. Again, don't be embarrassed.
No,
Make the call.
don't be.
Help is available, and actually through these studies, you can help some folks too. Depressioncenter.org. It's 102.9 W4 Country with Rascal Flatts, 845.